They pushed a prenup across the dining table in that North Chicago suburban house. My mother set her coffee down hard, saying if I refused to sign, this family would no longer take responsibility for me in any way. The people across from me sat upright, like waiting for a contract. I looked down at the document, reading every clause carefully. It clearly stated all post-marriage assets would remain completely separate. My properties would be transferred into a shared trust structure. I would cover 70% of the down payment up front, and in case of divorce, I could claim absolutely nothing back. I didn't speak, just turned the document to its final page. The signature line had already been lightly marked in pencil. My name is Ava Carter. I run an interior design firm in Illinois. Over the past 2 years, I've handled renovations for 3 hotel chains. My annual income has been steadily in the 6-figure range. But in my mother's eyes, that still wasn't considered stable. She said it wasn't a career, just unstructured freelance independence. She believed I needed a family, a more normal life path, instead of continuing to make decisions entirely on my own. This dinner was arranged by her, supposedly just a casual meeting, but the moment I opened the door, I knew it wasn't. My brother sat beside her, already watching me closely. Across from me was Daniel, the man she chose for me, a financial analyst working in Evanston, composed and distant. His parents sat quietly, observing without asking anything about me. Every question they asked focused on only one thing. What kind of structure can you bring into this family? They used that exact word, structure, not love or connection. I said I didn't need marriage to define who I was. The atmosphere turned cold almost instantly after that. My mother didn't get angry. She stayed calm instead. You're already 32, Ava, she said quietly. This isn't a choice anymore. It's simply a matter of time. Someone gave a soft laugh, not mocking, more like confirmation. I sat there and suddenly realized something very clearly. This wasn't a date, it was an evaluation process. And I was the asset being assessed at that table. The tension stretched on, but I didn't react emotionally. Instead, I nodded slightly and said, "We can discuss it." That one sentence immediately eased the entire atmosphere. Daniel even leaned back slightly, like the deal had progressed. Wine was poured again, and discussions shifted into details. Trust structures, tax strategies, long-term asset allocation planning. My mother looked satisfied, nodding as if everything aligned. I listened quietly without interrupting a single word, until I asked one simple but precise question. Should we include the funds from the past 3 years? The room paused, and Daniel's father looked at me. What funds are you referring to exactly? I placed my phone on the table and opened my banking app. Bank of America, transaction records, scrolling page after page. Every transfer went to the same recipient consistently. Linda Carter, my mother, amounts ranging 5 to 30,000, spanning 36 consecutive months, totaling $900,000. The room fell completely silent at that moment. I didn't look up, I just spoke evenly. If this is about structure, then let's calculate properly. My brother reacted first, insisting it was family support. He said those transfers shouldn't count as anything formal. I nodded calmly and replied, then let's use legal definitions. I pushed a second document forward across the table, notarized and legally verified, clearly outlining the classification. These transfers were labeled as uncompensated financial movement, not considered support nor classified as gifts under law, legally defined as traceable and recoverable personal assets. Daniel's mother frowned for the first time that evening. She turned toward my mother, clearly unsettled. What exactly is going on here? She asked. My mother remained silent, staring at the document, as if she was seeing me clearly for the first time. The group's judgment began shifting, though not fully collapsing yet. I didn't stop. I placed the third document down. A property record registered in Cook County's official system. Owner listed clearly, Ava Carter, with no shared claim. The house they discussed transferring into a trust earlier had always belonged entirely to me from the beginning. This time, no one spoke at all. Daniel finally broke the silence, looking directly at me. Then why did you agree to participate in this arrangement? I met his gaze and gave a faint smile. Because I wanted to see who was designing this structure. The tension tightened again, sharper than before. My mother finally spoke, saying she only wanted to protect me. She claimed she feared I couldn't manage everything alone. She insisted she was helping build my future stability, but she never explained why my assets kept draining away. Daniel's father closed the documents calmly without anger. This does not align with our risk model, he stated. Then he stood, signaling it was time to leave. No argument, no emotional outbursts, just withdrawal. Like a deal being quietly canceled and abandoned. The room emptied quickly, but the real collapse followed. My brother exploded, accusing me of ruining everything. He said I embarrassed the entire family beyond repair. My mother didn't cry. She remained unusually quiet. Then she asked me one simple question. When did you start calculating all of this? I looked at her and answered plainly. 3 years ago, when you took control of my accounts, that was when she finally understood the truth. She thought she was controlling me all along. But from that moment, every record stayed with me. I stood up, took back the prenup, and tore it apart. Then I opened the door and stepped aside. You can continue discussing your future, I said calmly, but it no longer includes me at all. No one tried to stop me this time because they finally realized something important. They could no longer define who I was anymore. 2 months later, I received a call unexpectedly. It wasn't my mother, it was Daniel instead. He asked if I would meet him in person. We met at a cafe in downtown Chicago. He appeared calm, more reflective than before. He said he reviewed all the documents afterward. He realized I wasn't being controlled at all. I had been designing my exit strategy from the start. Then he asked me something with genuine curiosity. Did you plan to leave from the very beginning? I didn't answer his question directly. Instead, I asked him something back. Why didn't you ask what I actually wanted? He stayed silent for a long moment, then gave a small, understanding smile. Because in that structure, your choice didn't matter, he said. I nodded slowly, recognizing the truth in that. In that moment, something became completely clear. This wasn't just about my mother or my family. It was about a system everyone unconsciously accepted. That I was meant to be arranged, not to choose. 3 years later, I moved my company to Los Angeles, expanded its scale to 3 times its original size. I built my own financial structure, fully independent. No shared accounts, no family interference, no external control. No one could access or touch what I built anymore. My mother was later diagnosed with early-stage Alzheimer's disease. She began forgetting many things, including the money. The community contacted me regarding her long-term care. I covered all expenses and arranged professional support, but I didn't bring her back into my home. It wasn't revenge. It was simply a boundary. Daniel later sent me a long email message. He said he finally understood something important. That structure doesn't always equal safety or stability. Sometimes it's just another form of control. I never replied to that message because I didn't need to explain myself anymore, nor did I need to be understood by anyone. One day, a client asked me something directly. Do you still believe in family after everything? I thought about it for a brief moment, then answered with complete clarity. I believe in choice, I said. Back then, I wasn't allowed to choose. But this time, I made the decision myself.